We've spent a lot of the day talking about globalization and what's happening in globalization. And I think of you as the first truly global Chinese CEO. Your business is truly global. You have headquarters in both the US and in China. 10 years ago, I think a lot of people thought, well, this is the way the world is going. We're all going to become global. Yeah. Today, that's not the way it looks. There seems to be a retreat from globalization, and I wonder how you view that.
Yeah, so you are 100% true. So let me switch to Chinese.
Yeah.
So,
well, in the case of Lenovo, 15 years ago, back in starting from 2005, we started our globalization drive. One of the first to do so in China. We successfully acquired the PC business division of IBM, and we leveraged a global footprint, not only for sales of our products, but also for the global R&D capabilities, so that we started truly serving a global market. Nowadays, Lenovo business is 70% globalized outside of China. So Lenovo is a beneficiary of globalization. We wish to see globalization forging ahead. However, of late, we have heard some discord and noises with protectionism and populism, so on and so forth. And we don't want to see those trends growing. Rather, instead, we want to see the continuation of globalization, so that we will be able to continue using globalization to bring products and innovations created in one country to the rest of the world, so as to share them with the entire global consumer base.
Globalization continue, but what's your prediction? I mean, where are we headed? Is it more retrenchment?
Well, what we are witnessing now in the United States, in Europe, is a resurgence of protectionism. Despite that, I firmly believe globalization is here to stay. Over the past 3 decades, China has benefited tremendously from globalization in its own development. With low-cost manufacturing, we are producing for the entire world. In this process, the development of China and the rest of the world have benefited, and the U.S. consumers can enjoy more and more affordable goods and products. It's a benefit to all of the world, bringing down inflation levels across the world. And China needs to upgrade itself along the value chain with more indigenous innovation and innovative products. Hopefully, we will be working together with the rest of the world while sharing our innovations with the rest of the world. I think, globalization is here to stay.
Yeah. So has the trade tension hurt Lenovo's business? Are you feeling the effects of this yet?
So far, so good. You can see that. According to our latest quarterly statement, we are continuing our growth, not only in China, but also in other markets in the world. Thanks to globalization, thanks to persistent globalization. So we are hopeful this trend will be sustained.
I should congratulate you on regaining the #1 position in PC sales.
Thank you.
Well done. But PC sales aren't the future, and I know you're heavily focused on the future as well. We've been talking a lot today about artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. Can you talk about how that's going to change your business, but also how it's going to change business in general?
Yes, indeed. AI is very popular. But AI is not a new technology. It was born 62 years ago. It has become more of a catchword of late, mainly because of three key drivers behind AI that have taken up speed. First, data. Second, computing power. Third, algorithms. All three are making rapid advances in terms of data. Thanks to internet and connectivity, more and more data are generated, collected, and analyzed, especially thanks to intelligent IoT. There are more and more devices that are connected and intelligent, generating a lot of data all the time. That's like a rocket fuel for AI. We're having plenty of fuel. Secondly, computing power is becoming greater and greater in two aspects. First, HPC, high-performance computing. The computing performance is greater and greater. Second, cloud computing and edge computing are developing side by side. Nowadays, computing is ubiquitous. So those two factors are very much behind AI. The third factor is algorithm and the big data analytics. Algorithms are being combined with vertical industrial know-how, knowledge, and processes. Such combinations are making industry verticals more and more smart and intelligent. So the combination of the three factors is pushing AI forward.
How quickly do you see this transformation happening? I know these days you're principally in the B2B business. How fast are companies adopting the Internet of Things, the data, and the AI algorithms?
Then I think it's fair to say it's rapid. It happens so fast. In my industry, thanks to AI, there are three rapid developments. First, intelligent IoT is growing a lot. We have not only PC or smartphone kind of intelligent devices, smart devices, inherently smart, but also we are having smart speakers and smart displays. And some traditionally dumb devices are becoming intelligent thanks to an AI chip or an AI protocol. Those devices, like some of the appliances, air conditioners, fridges, and washing machines, are becoming connected and intelligent. For example, you can, for the temperature and humidity, it can be controlled in an intelligent way. But in the future, intelligence will be deployed more and more in vertical industries. It will be used in machine tools, X-ray machines, and the imaging equipment in the hospitals with smart chips and smart protocols. Those traditionally numb devices will become intelligent. Recently, we are talking to the Shanxi blowing drum equipment factory with sensors and connectivity. We can grasp their working conditions real time. So they are changing their business model from an equipment seller to entire equipment services, including operational maintenance and repairs. That's transformative for industry verticals. In healthcare and hospitals, yes, we have CT, MRI, X-ray. After taking the scans, we're waiting for the doctors to tell what's wrong with the patient. But with intelligence, and the machine themselves will be able to tell the results, coming up with diagnosis. Plus the human experience of the physicians, the conclusions will be even more accurate. So we firmly believe the AI have a lot of growth going forward, thanks to IoT and intelligent devices. And secondly, I want to talk about smart infrastructure or intelligent infrastructure. It used to be the case that when we talk about the infrastructure, we have compute, servers, networking, and storage. And then there will be applications on top of them. When you add a new application, you might need additional servers. And many servers, networking, and storage are dedicated to a bunch of applications. But for new IT going forward, everything is going to be software-defined architecture, software-defined data centers. So that at the device and application layer, they can be decoupled from the underlying infrastructure or the hardware platform. Servers, networks, and storage can be shared by all applications, pushing up utilization rate by leaps and bounds. That's all about smart infrastructure.
It's changing your company, changing Lenovo. I mean, we tend to think of Lenovo as a producer of hardware. You produce PCs, smartphones, servers. But how is that profound transformation towards software and services changing the way you do business?
Yes. Yeah, it so happens that by no coincidence, out of our global industry peers, Lenovo is well positioned to drive all three driving forces behind AI. We have reaffirmed our strategy to transform ourselves in a smart way. For that, there are several pieces of that strategy. First, we are following the path of intelligent IoT. PC is becoming smarter, and the smartphones are smarter in nature. But in the future, more and more devices and edges are becoming smart. Recently, we have consolidated our PC and smartphone businesses, calling them the division of smart devices, including PC and smartphones. And there are two directions that we're taking. First, when we talked about intelligent devices before, they were not smart enough. For example, in the case of a PC, PC was not always on or always connected, was not. Nowadays, we're making sure that a PC is becoming an edge in the Internet of Things, and always on, always connected. And we're equipping PC with a natural language interface, the NUI, natural language interactions. And the computer is going to see you, and you can use facial recognition for authentication. And it can even comprehend or understand your messages. It can intelligently recommend some applications to you automatically. So those are the directions we're taking, making traditional devices even smarter. Secondly, we're also developing a new generation of intelligent devices like displays and speakers. And a bigger future trend for us is the to-be model. It's along the to-be model. For the to-be markets, we can see that with more and more devices becoming intelligent, we need to embed intelligent modules, chips, and protocols into more and more devices. We want to make that a service so as to empower different industry verticals to become new types of transformative service providers in the healthcare and in the equipment manufacturing industries, such as in the example of the blowing drum factory in Shanxi province. That's the first big part. For the second big part, focused on the smart infrastructure, a lot has been done. Maybe it is less known to others. We are saying that Lenovo is #1 in PC, but also we are #1 in HPC, high-performance computing. For the 500 strongest supercomputers in the world, according to the latest statistics, 140 of them are built by Lenovo. Those supercomputers are serving AI in a very big and important way. Nowadays, in Germany, Spain, Canada, Italy, Denmark, and Norway, most of the fastest supercomputers in those countries are Lenovo. For example, for the German Leibniz HPC center, number 8 in the world, is powered by Lenovo. So in the smart infrastructure sphere, it's fair to say that Lenovo is building 4 engines. First, traditional IT. Second, software-defined new IT. Third, HPC or supercomputing. Number 4, cloud computing or cloud-ready infrastructure. So for out of the 10 biggest cloud players, 6 of them have become Lenovo customers. Yeah, that's what we are doing. And thirdly and lastly, we are working very hard on empowering vertical industries with industry-specific solutions and services like smart education. I made a little showcase of it before this part of the meeting. And smart manufacturing, smart healthcare, smart retail. We are putting together more and more end-to-end industry vertical solutions, combining our IoT and computing and algorithmic and big data capabilities in combination with industry know-how. Those are the three key thrusts of Lenovo.
In this to win it, clearly, it's a real transformation from what Lenovo was 10 years ago.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and how do you drive change at that kind of pace within a company? What is your secret to keeping Lenovo up with the rapid pace of change that you have to be that kind of company?
Well, one, as I've said, we are fortunate, we're lucky. We happen to have all 3 enablers behind AI. Those key assets underlining AI, including IoT, computing, algorithm, and big data. We have all of them. But in order to drive real transformation, it's not easy. It's never easy. We have gone through years of pains over the past 4 to 5 years. We have managed to evolve Lenovo from a PC-centric company to one with smart IoT, computing, and vertical solutions, good at all 3.
So here in the process, actually, we have had a painful process from a product-oriented company to a client, customer-oriented company, from a single business company to a multiple business company, operating system company. So everything we did is not easy, including cultural transformation. Same thing. In the past 4 years, we have had very painful experiences. However, for a company to constantly develop, grow itself, you have to have a higher goal, objective. You have to have the greater mission to drive you forward. That is the smart transformation. This is our goal, objective, something we really want to do.
Neil Shen was sitting on the stage earlier this morning, and one of the things he said was that he feels like China is now leading the U.S. in terms of developing consumer technology, but that the U.S. still leads China in terms of enterprise B2B technology. Would you agree with that?
I think China indeed, in many technologies, is lagging behind vis-a-vis the U.S. We have a long way to go, especially in the areas of chips and B2B area, including large-scale enterprise application software, also algorithm, database. On the one hand, we cannot be very complacent, and by the other hand, we should not, be very pessimistic. Actually, China is growing itself in terms of intelligence. China does enjoy many advantages. The three factors I just mentioned. Data is one of the major advantages for China and Chinese companies. We have a huge customer base of population and users, which generate huge amount of data for customer using devices, healthcare, etc., etc. All these represent an advantage for us. On the other hand, in computing capability, out of the top 500 supercomputers, 240 are located in China. All this provide us a very good condition for us to develop AI in algorithm, in big data. We are lagging behind with the U.S. companies, but as you see, companies like us are also making our great efforts to emerge, to develop our technologies along the line. What we hope to see is that China and U.S. companies will do a benign competition to promote the overall technological development, contributing to the welfare of the humankind.
A Chinese company or a U.S. company? I mean, you've spent the last 15 years jumping between both.
We are originating and based in China. It's a global company. So we hope that we will benefit from the world, globe, and contribute to the global development. We're not only complacent, doing a good work in China, manufacturing in China, sell them to the global market. We also hope to utilize the global expertise, good R&D resources to develop our own products, to utilize the resources of manufacturing to satisfy the demand of the global consumers. Because of this concept, globalization concept, not only in China, we have our R&D teams. Also, we have them in the U.S. as well. A lot of R&D people, even in Japan, in Germany, Brazil, and India, we all have our R&D and manufacturing bases. So this is what we call a genuine globalization concept.
Has personally lived in both the U.S. and China and worked in both the U.S. and China for the last couple of decades. What other differences do you see between the two countries and how they approach technology?
Just say it again.
Having spent your life in both the U.S. and in China, lived in both places and worked in both places, what differences do you see in attitudes and development of technology in the U.S. and in China?
Knowledge.
Cultural differences or in the...
It seems to me in the past innovation, companies in China, maybe in business model innovation, they pay greater attention, they're leading. But in some of the basic technology, including chips technology, especially B2B software technology, U.S. companies are leading, including Western companies, are in a better position. They made greater investment. Actually, the two parties should complement each other, learn from each other to jointly promote the innovation environment improvement. But one thing is for sure, U.S. vis-a-vis China is an early starter vis-a-vis China. Of course, it should be leading in many areas, but for China, it's catching up very rapidly. We are seeing more and more venture capital, like Nielsen, our old friend, a good friend, is also promoting China innovation industry development. Actually, this industry in China development, we only have had like 1 or less than 2 decades history. Therefore, I think China is lagging behind in some areas. It's good, understandable, but we do hope to see everybody should be competing against a benign environment to jointly seek development.
You've had such a remarkable career. I mean, you were at Lenovo at the beginning, right? Close to the beginning, and you've taken it from a tiny startup into the #1 producer of PCs, one of the top 4 producers of smartphones, and now this larger AI and Internet of Things business-to-business company. What lessons have you learned along that remarkable journey that might be useful to other people who are here? What advice would you give them in trying to build their own companies?
Let me say this, for a company, if you want to grow to a 100-year-old company and to develop into one of the Fortune 500 companies, inevitably you will encounter many ups and downs. But actually, in the history of our development, we are 34 years old now. Almost every 10 years, we have to do one transformation. The first decade for us, mainly what we did is to represent for other companies. I sold Sun workstation and HP product. We serve as an agent for other international brands, but we're not satisfied with that. In 1990, we began to do our own brand, develop our own brand. Starting in 1994, I began to lead a personal computer business at Lenovo. After another 10 years, we became the #1 in China market. After that, we're not happy about our development. We hoped to become a globalized company. That is, therefore, in 2004, we acquired IBM PC. After that, we only ranked number 3 or 4, but after another 10 years development, by 2013, we became PC market #1 in the PC market globally. After that, we're thinking, so what's next for us? Inevitably, we want to develop into diversified business, and then we came into the era of smart or intelligent development. So we began to develop IoT and smart infrastructure, vertical industry, intelligent or smart solutions. So that is our experience. So I think the experience I have is that for a company to constantly seek development, there's 3 things you need to accommodate. #1, you have to constantly set for yourself a greater goal. You climb to the top of the mountain, you have to see the top of another taller mountain, or higher mountain. #2, the first mountain you climb, the second mountain you climb, maybe the way was different. So you need to have a very good spirit to always learning. So that is a very good DNA for Lenovo, to learn from textbooks, to learn from our competitors, from the market. Lastly, you have to be persistent in pursuing your goal. So you encounter difficulty, don't give up. You need to persist till the end, and before you can see the victory. So those are the 3 things.
Ending to a great day. Always climb the higher mountain, always be learning, and be persistent until you get to the top. And I can tell that you have lived your life that way, and I imagine will continue to do so. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed.
Great to see you.